Sorry guys, I was inside. Yep, that was the refreshed Athena. We finna go get a look at it, Mike. I was gonna crank it up here in a little while. Got the new air filter. Oh, that's bad view there. Let's get out of here. Try it out. Of course, there's a wasp all up on me. I guess I got him. Yep, I had to break down, get a new intake filter. It's actually a nice little filter. I still won't use their carburetors, but yeah, it's a nice filter. It's like 15, 16 bucks. Something like that. Nice hard mesh, kind of like a K&N. Perfect size for the PWK 21. Yep, that's my old Athena I refreshed. She didn't have much time on her back in the day. Only, like I said, it was like 6.5, something like that hours when I pulled it. When I pulled the Falcon, I had like 20 hours on the Falcon. I remember both those times perfectly. But yeah, I redid the pipe. Put it up here like this. Got all my clearance out of the way. Out the way, bro. It's out the way. But yeah, that's the smaller 32 millimeter flanged vertical intake. And I got the, what brand was the reeds? Like the Boyson dual stage reeds. Sounds pretty good. We'll crank it up here in a little while. Need to let some fresh fuel get into the carburetor. Let it stand up. Get that bubble out of there. I'll end up taking it off here and working that out. She's full. We'll crank her up here in a minute. I hadn't rode her, didn't ride her this weekend because I like dehydrated Friday. So I was recuperating all weekend. But those couple of days before then when I rode her and I had my other filter, it was okay on there, good enough. But yeah, no slip, no nothing. She holding good with the SP spring and the green pads and the seal bearing clutch. And then the hole I drilled in my thick cover. But yeah, she's good. We'll crank her up here in a minute. Like the filter though, for the price, the Nibby filter ain't bad. I can't believe I bought one. I still won't use their carb. I'll use this PWK before I use one of them yet. Anyway, but the filter is really nice and it's perfect size. It was like 48 millimeter. I think that's what it was. It was perfect though. Fit right on there. And then, yep. So that's your setup right there. My leg reaches around that just fine. What's up, Dave? Gonna crank up my old Minelli. It's refreshed and rebuilt. Oh yeah, I didn't see that side. I got the Parma kit on her. Yeah, even with the Parma kit, she no slipping. Didn't have no electrical tape, so I had some mastic tape. Lightly covered those connections that I soldered. That's about it. And I had to use it up here because I didn't have no electrical tape, so I had to put some up here around my wrap. I see y'all with y'all's cord stretched out long way a lot. Keep your wrap tight and let it end on this end of it, the wrap. When you're wrapping for RPM and coil and shit, wrap it kind of tight and then you can cut your excess off. But I use as much of the end as I can, but let your end on this end like it says in the book. I keep my coil tight. I get good readings. Just had to use that. It's good enough now. It's like shit. I don't care. Update it with some black tape eventually one day. But yep. Yeah, we'll flip around here in a minute. Crappy lighting. I want to hear it with the filter anyway. Man, we could do that right now. Shirt. Old shirt. See if I can tuck it in the shirt. Tuck it in the shirt with the flip flops on. Shall I choke it? Yeah, I'll choke it. Turn the idle way down when we started. I should have left it up. Like when she act like she couldn't see me. Let that crazy person pass. Hold on. A little rich in there somewhere. Should be alright though. Yeah, she's only warmed up to 180 or whatever. She was just getting warmed up. I was just putting around, but dumbass neighbor act like they couldn't back. Well, that's not my neighbor. That's the neighbor's granddaughter. She's my age. She thinks she's 21. Besides the point, though. Yeah, running good. Can't really get on it right there, you know, in front of the neighborhood. I could use this a shorter. I pulled this off the billet engine so I could run over here when I got my intake and stuff in to try it out. Yeah. I adjusted the idle way off when I crunk it up. I should have left it up how it was because I didn't have to turn it back up how it was with the other filter a little bit, the idle. So, and I could probably drop the pilot one more time. It's a 40 and a 105 right now. So, I'm about to go in. I can see the chat. Oh, y'all still talking about stator coils? Yep, this is the pipe. I didn't want to re-rivet it. And when I tack welded it here and around here, it still ain't leaked none from here, so that's nice. Which I tack welded it and yeah, boo-boo welded there. Got some there. Yeah, she's doing good though. It does have the SP timing plate on it. And yes, that's the real Parma kit. As seen. And don't get the one that says Treatland on it. You make sure you get this one from Treatland or wherever trusted site you trust to get your stuff from. Some stuff. Yeah, she's doing good, running good. I got the pipe tucked in. It comes up there, you know, but still. She's tucked in there. I got room. And she's warm. Yep, I was bored. Thought I'd go live for a little while. Turn the gas off. Got the Minelli ready to ride. Yeah, the filter's nice. Like I said, I'd like to shorten my intake a little bit, probably here on this side, the length of it here. I could shorten it. Hair coming out this way because the bend happens right here, so I could take off half an inch here. That would suck it up a little bit closer. So make sure I'm not zoomed in too far. I don't know yet. Yep, and that's that tiny thin gasket. And I left it a little wide, and it always does this. It always rolls. When I leave extra hangover, it always rolls, but it don't leak because I got a little bit of ultra gray on the top and bottom. But yeah, any of the extra overhang always wants to roll up. It always has done it with that ultra thin gasket stuff. Does great though. Ultra gray on the bottom and ultra gray on the top with a thin gasket. And then just the O-ring head. I lightly sanded the top of the cylinder, make sure everything was flat. I even sanded the bottom of the cylinder. Get a board, cut a hole in it the size of your cylinder, put some sandpaper there, and then all you do is stick your cylinder in there and spin it. And you can lightly make sure your bottom's flush. But yep, it's hotter than a witch's titty in the brass bra out here. That's my Yamaha DT50 pipe. That's the same pipe I had on the Avenger.
but I turned it up, modified the, you know, the whole front part again, redid all that up there. Still hadn't put my studs in it yet. Sitting nice though. Second mount, got burned in on a couple of them, but yeah, some poo weld in there too. It'll be all right. I need to touch it up with paint, undo it right down there and touch it up. But yeah, it's just quite nice, running smooth, running in better than it ever did the first time I built it. Only got the center hole in the crank, the 1/2 inch hole in the middle on this crank. Drilled it myself. Was the original crank too when I used it back in the day. I kept everything together and then I pulled it apart. Everything was good, so I drilled that stock crank with the 1/2 inch holes. Look, here's my pants from Friday. Still got that old insulation in there. Them old houses from the 70s. Oh, bruh. I just left them out here. I got to spray them off with a water hose. I'm going inside where the air is, y'all. Say goodbye to the outside. We'll chill in the house for a little while. I can look at the comments now. And not bust a sweat. Even though we don't have a bike to look at right there. We got the comment section. Later, Dave. I was already forehead sweating. I just came inside, Jared. It's hot out there. Did a little startup. The gas in the bowl was been in there for whatever, a week and a half. Then I let some new gas flow in with it. I adjusted the idle down, then I had to adjust it back up once it started warming up. The normal crap after letting the bike set a second. But yeah, did a little tiny test pool, little tiny. I can't do that in front of the house. I got flip flops on and stuff like that, so can't be riding the bike. I didn't have no helmet on either. Can't be acting a fool. Not safetied up. Whew. Yeah, y'all stay out there, hydrate, hit the thumbs up. I gotta get some better light. It's not gonna get better. I'll get a better phone eventually too, but if I had endless amounts of money, yeah, I'd go ahead and get another Smolik head, 47mm for that Falcon. That way I could slow off the top. It needs a G2 also, a G2, and then I could finish putting it together. Besides not having the clutch for it, that's besides the point. That's after the fact. That's locking down locking the engine down. The clutches can always come later. But yeah, then I could have it locked down, and if someone wanted to purchase that donkey, it's going to be done no time soon. I got to put I'm going to do a seal bearing clutch on it and put a SP spring on it. That way, yeah, there's no worrying about that. It'll be G2 Falcon 911. Yeah, it needs a proper head though, and it'll run the 47 head. it's set up right now when I'm just tightening it down with 2 bolts, not trying to over torque it or nothing. It comes down to like 1.15 right now. So I know when I get a head on it and 4 nuts, I'm going to be already at like 1 or right under once it settles. So I'm good where I'm at. It needs a O-ring head, and then that engine will be complete. Because I was going over it the other day. It's just sitting there. It's a true Falcon build for, it's a true Falcon build. It's the old MZ Miami case, brand new. I got all hardware, grade A hardware in there. Heat treated bevel gear, Viton seals, PGM bearings, of course, with all the shields removed. Balance crank, 38 millimeter balance crank. And it is a JS, what is it again? I'm gonna get in there and look, y'all. I need glasses. Let's turn the light on. JS 50. Balance and true crank. Homemade bottom gasket. These right here are optional, depending on how you're gonna mount it. Brand new case. It's prepped and everything. Got 1 bearing in it already. Magnetos in. You can see the Vitons in there. FMKs, whatever you want to call it. These are from Japan. Same ones I sent to my bike. Same ones I built on my Avenger. Sometimes it gets out of focus. Yeah. So far, so clean. But yeah, this is the Falcon, 38 millimeter stroke build. It's gonna have all the little goodies. SP spring, seal bearing clutch, green pads. It would need a nice fancy plate, and that, that makes it complete. But yeah, gonna be very nice. Gotta go put the bag back over it in a minute. But yeah, so be on the lookout maybe one day. Oh yeah, I took this out. This is another crank. This is the one I did. I pulled it out of the little case rebuild I was gonna do. My ZL40 crank that I drilled, center hole only. This is how I did my Athena crank. I just did the center hole only. I had marked them. I had marked this one to go ahead and do it, but I think my drill went out on this one a bit, so I didn't do no more after this one. I didn't keep going. But yeah, this is the one I was going to build with the little case reed, but I took it apart. I didn't like something about I didn't like how it was just hitting one of these webs. I don't know. I wanted to do something different on the case reed. But yeah, it's thought this was the YD crank, but it's a ZL40. Got the nut on there. Got that nut in there. So yeah, now I have a backup for myself, or I can finish another project, because it's decent for what it is. Just having that one hole makes a difference. In the LD90 there, yeah, don't worry about that. The LD90 had the YD crank in it. There's Dookie's motor that he was never gonna get. There's my Avenger, all sealed up. I need to go put it up. Oh yeah, it's still too hot. I mowed this morning though. It was nice weather this morning with the overcast. Bunch of rain or clouds below us and above us. Had the day off, so I had to do some yard work. I still got like 2 gallons of Roundup that's mixed up since last week that I need to spray some more of. So I don't like no grass right here. Like I said, you can have the boat for some cash. Yep, I done made a trip on her or two to town. Of course, I hit up the back road, you know, where I take the hits at. Yeah, she never missed a lick all the way to 10 G's. Y'all seen that? Well, y'all didn't get to see the other video. But yeah, she pulled a 10 G's and be nice and cool and warm as I want it to be. Yeah, it's humid, and we had a little sprinkle come on. You know, they don't do nothing to make things worse. Yeah, it was a little temporary wiring, but that wiring will be like that until she comes off. I was gonna wrap it, make it a little neater, make it all black, you know, but I was like, oh well. I soldered the connections, so they ain't coming loose. And then I had to put these clips on up here, and they got a little solder on them too. So, all's well. You can still see that EU etched in there. It says EG 1349, some kind of stamp from the EU, because it did. Yeah, they imported the pipe or whatever. So yeah, it's a nice pipe though. Like I said, same pipe I had on the Avenger. It's the Yamaha DT50. It's not MZ65. It's a real pipe. I'm sorry. This is where you slide your stinger into it, and it's got a little stinger. It comes out about this much further. When I had it on the Avenger, though, it came out a little bit further of the stingers. I wish I had that much stinger back on it. Be all right. Muffler down here is wide. It's no little narrow tip. That's a big hole. Yeah, and you can see it look a little running a little rich. Didn't look that rich earlier. Remember, still hadn't charged that little battery. All I use it for is brake. Swap it back and forth on the 2 bikes. But the other bike, like I said, pulled parts off it so I could play with this. So, but yeah, the brake lights always ready. I plugged them in just before I come out earlier. But yeah, if you can get brake lights, people, that's awesome. And that's all it is. One little wire. That one wire has 2 little wires in it, sending power up and power back down. That's all it's doing. Both bikes, or that one and the other felt faker. I don't know what you would call this one, but gas bike frame. Not all dropouts are equal. All right, I'm going back inside. I was just trying to do 30 minutes. We're already at 34. I didn't want to do no damn hour. But we'll sit down. We'll have one little safety break. We'll talk to y'all in the chat a minute, and then we'll end this thing here in just a minute. I consider going on a ride, but nah. I may take y'all on a ride at the end of the week. Well, you got a little ride, so that's good enough. That was good enough for me, too. I'm sweating bullets just being in the shade out there. I guess I could have turned the fan on a little bit. Yeah, but when it's hot and humid, you don't want to run a little two-stroke anyway. You want to run it in the morning or the evening. Unless you're out there and you got to make money on it, then you got to make money on it. But yeah, when the dog days of summer is coming on, or that thick humidity, sweltering heat, yeah, don't ride your little two-stroke because he ain't gonna run the way you had it when it was tuned. It'll still run, just not primo. Whew. Emerson, Paul, Jared. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, Dave probably already left. Willard, before you get on that bike, you got to slowly work you into some healthier weight, brother, for you and the bike. I see you already said you was walking and getting around with your stroller. Don't overdo it before then. Slowly. Therapy twice a week. You'll get there. It may take you a year. Yeah. Because, yeah, anyway, yeah. We'll be looking forward for you getting back on the bike, Willard. You're going to have to work for that shit, sucker. I couldn't, man. Yeah. I seen your scar. Don't worry. I seen the scar. We all seen the scar. Could have warned us, but we seen the scar. See J Ray. Yeah, we finna get off here, J Ray. We was just messing around with the bike for a minute. I hadn't crunk it up in almost a week and a half. There's fuel still in the bowl. So I'm sure some evaporated, you know, got the little puddle of oil and a little gas, you know, so I didn't even drain it. I just filled it up, let it run. Still did good. It wasn't as clean as the nice pop. It was getting there. Had to clean it up. But a nice filter though for the whatever I paid for it. Let's take a glance real quick before we get off here. Total cost was $15.63 for the Nibby 48 millimeter motorcycle air filter. Yeah, it was a good deal. Because it's like $14.24, and then they add on that little bit of tax or whatever, and mine shipped from me from Hebron, Kentucky. I made sure that some bitch didn't say China. I made sure that motherfucker said somewhere in the United States. You see right here? You come down here and you look where it says shipping people. And, you know, that motherfucker right there. Hebron, Kentucky, United States. Usually you'll see sometimes it'll say USA or something like that, and China has a little thing that they can do to trick you. Or sometimes it'll say some weird stuff like this New York something. Anyway, I just make sure over here if I can see a state, or I know if it's coming from another country though, because it'll be a different kind of money up there. Like if it's Great Britain, the euro priced and stuff, give me a conversion automatically. If I can automatically already see it over here for sale from them over here, then they already had their shipping price and everything added in. So, but this was already in the country, not from China. I seen one that was like $10, $12, but guess where it was coming from? 2-week wait from China, and the tax or whatever equaled out to about what I'm going to pay within $1. So you lose, I win. I get mine, within the week's time, and you may get yours in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that was the deal with that. I like it though. We'll see once I get a good ride and a couple of rips. It's a high filter. It's flowing higher probably than the uni that I had on there, my 4-year-old filter. It'd been ran and shelved again. Yep. Somebody 65, yeah. No, not me. Not yet. Not me, not yet. But yeah. Looks like I'm gonna take a ride maybe till the end of the week, which I need to drain the gas out of that carburetor, and I'll probably do that after I get off with y'all. I'll probably go drain the gas out of that carburetor and then let it out again before I bring it back in. But yep, all right, we're finna get off here. If I can, I'll get a ride video in this week. We'll go ride around on it. Let y'all hear some pipe pulls, and clutch is holding good with those new springs. All right, y'all. Y'all be good.